And we're back.
We're back. Yeah, technical difficulties, but we're good. We're talking about Star Wars.
Just talking about Fallen Order. Yeah. We wanted to show you guys some footage, and now we got it queued up. I think we got things sorted out. Is OBS our fault? Hey.
Let's throw it in full screen. It's the user error, at least. It ain't fucking the computers be like, nah, yeah. Throw that out.
But yeah, you've been playing this, right?
Yeah, actually, I started it last night. Played a little bit of it today, and it's good, man. No reserve judgment on it, but EA, I think, kind of kept their hands off of it from what I'm hearing. I think Respawn was able to do their thing and really dive into it the way they did. And they combined a lot of elements, man. I could really see the souls. There's a lot of Dark Souls in this thing. A lot of it. Your meditation points to the experience and all that. And I'm trying to turn down a little bit.
So does Respawn just seem to have like the magic touch when it comes to EA kind of staying away from their projects when it comes to stuff like Apex Legends or this anyway?
I think so, man. It's starting to seem like they're trusting them a lot. I mean, they have a pedigree to be trusted, and maybe, hopefully, this kind of is a new approach for EA. Just let your developers develop. Just keep your hands off.
Yeah.
And look what's happening when you do that.
It's getting great reviews, and it seems like it's a good synergy, and I love using that word in like a non-ironic, like corporate business sort of way. Like they're really like pulling together. Like it's got a little bit of Dark Souls, it's got a little bit of Uncharted I'm hearing, and like a little bit of like Metroidvania style, kind of like back and forth.
Man,
those are all elements I like to hear about, and in a Star Wars context, with that IP, I just want to hear the lightsaber sounds and the blaster rifle noises.
They're great.
And just incorporate it, do it, just use it and have fun with it, and that's what they did.
Yeah, the most satisfying sound so far is the finishing blow with the lightsaber. It's got that it's got a little bass to it though.
Yeah.
You just swapped it. And enemies, aside from the humanoid ones, you can dismember them, and it's crazy to watch them just heat sheared apart.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Disney doesn't allow the dismemberment that would be inevitable with lightsabers, but at least you get it on the droids.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you get on the droids. You also get on organic animals too.
Oh,
I found that out today. I was like,
so on like non-humanoids, yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, the acting's really well done too.
Yeah.
I think nothing's gonna be able to come out that's not canon, right? So
I guess,
I feel like this is supposed to fit and be canon now. These characters, because that's how it was with the Battlefront 2 campaign. I know that was canonized. Yeah, man. I mean, it's high quality.
Yeah.
Respawn knocked it out. The visuals are amazing. That's the other thing too. When you're walking around, you feel like you're in a Star Wars universe.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, just watching the sequence, I like how how fluid it is, and that there's movement. It's not. It's just not just like a static, just action game. Where it's just like, all right, spamming ability. And like press X to Jason or whatever.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know what the.
It's got that that cinematic blend of action like Uncharted. That's where that vibe is, or But it's also got, from the combat that I've seen, like at least like the mini bosses and stuff, like you really got to like play your scenarios out and like use the environment and like pick your battles and get tactical.
Yeah, speaking of tactical, there's one enemy I played. It's a huge kind of frog with teeth.
Nice.
It was brutal. I remember reading about it after I killed one. You could scan it and get the the info on it.
Yeah.
And it gave you a little tip that you can. I haven't tried it yet, but if you parry or you hit it with the force slowdown, you can cut its tongue off. That it uses to hit you.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? You can do stuff like that, and that will change the whole battle for you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, they have the unblockable attacks. A lot of Dark Souls shit in there, man. You gotta evade, block, parry at the right times to set them up and stun them. Same goes with like the blaster rifles and all that. You can deflect them. Man, they've done justice by the. Finally, I feel like I can say that about this shit. They've done justice with it.
It's about time. It's about time.
Took long enough for them to realize what a Star Wars game kind of could mean to the consumer.
Yeah.
So hopefully this sells. Hopefully it does better than EA expects it to, I guess. But at the same time, gosh, I don't know, man.
It's going to be great, man. There's no doubt on that.
I'm sure it will.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't, I'm worried that EA is going to just be like, oh, see, wasn't worth it. It's not a good investment. You guys remember how they announced that game? It was someone from the crowd was talking about it. Like, they didn't even let the guy go on stage and be like, let me tell you about,
going to be a game.
It's going to be a game, Star Wars game.
Yeah. By the way, it's going to, it's going to be made. And yeah, you're right. They're very mum about it. Like, they didn't, and I think honestly it was to its benefit.
Yeah, I agree. To be honest,
the hype kind of got built naturally, and Respawn has kind of earned their respect as a developer. I think. I mean, with the Titanfall games and with Apex Legends, for better or worse, I don't care for it. It's not like a game I play, but like they had a flash in the pan, and it was definitely made its mark. And as well as diving into VR, we talked about Medal of Honor last time. Yeah. And with this, I mean, I'm excited to play this, and it's a Star Wars game, and it looks good. It's got my attention, and I'll pay for it.
It's good. I mean, I'm not trying to plug anything. I feel bad even saying this kind of way, but that Premiere Pass, the Origin Premiere, that's how I'm playing it. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy the game, but they're dropping stuff like that day one. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of quality stuff there. So if you're interested in even trying it, you want to play it, you maybe play it for a month, it would be worth even signing up for a month and just playing the game. If that's what you want to get out of it,
No doubt. It's awesome, honestly, these subscription services. It's kind of weird, like how the market has evolved into that and given us that option, but it's works, I think, to the consumer's benefit overall. I mean, it really does, because it's a low investment, and I have a lot of opportunities. Like, I just turned my roommate onto the Xbox Game Pass for PC, and he's been playing a bunch of indie games that were on his wish list on Steam. Nice. And he's all about it. And and I've been playing Outer Worlds and other stuff, and it's awesome. I don't know, having those low cost, low barrier to entry to try things out, and if you want it, you'll buy it and have it long term. But I don't know, it's a win-win.
Right. It is. It really is, man. I was skeptical at first, but I'm seeing them really load these things up.
Yeah.
Dropping huge day one releases. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait. They're I can see with here's a little auxiliary, but you still gotta buy the big boys. But here's a whole other library you could have too.
Yeah.
And nah, fuck it. We're putting it out there.
Yeah.
I respect that, man.
Yeah.
It makes it worth it to me. I don't mind being a member. And I mean, there's specials that pop up. Black Friday's coming up. I'm sure there'll be discounts across the board on a lot of these things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that a big advantage to the whole service and the idea of something like Game Pass, where you're given access to a library at a monthly fee, especially at that good of value.
Yeah.
The whole thing is every individual selection is going to give us, the core audience, way more time on average than a typical Netflix special or film or show even.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
And it's having that backlog. We already, without those services, have way too many games to get around to.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to buy games anymore if you have a service that gets you enough games, except for the obvious exceptions if you want them badly enough, such as the occasional big Nintendo this or that, or
well, and a game you just want to own.
Well, and ultimately, I don't want to have to rely on these gaming services, but it's very nice for a lot of these flagship releases.
Yeah.
Just getting to okay, what you mean? I can just install this and play right now?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right.
I by no means want relying on it to be the standard, but we're in that soft spot where it's either one is an option. Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think we should enjoy while we
no, totally, and they're both valid options too, because for example, I was talking about Outer Worlds, and we got some footage of that, right?
Yeah.
You wanna pull it up. I mean, let's just talk about it a little bit.
Yes. I haven't played it, but I've been watching my roommate a little bit. But I want to hear from a player perspective what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited for it because I loved what Obsidian did with Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
that was a fun game.
I'm a big RPG fan in that Bethesda vein. Mm-hmm. We all know that.
Oh yeah, Mr. Skyrim.
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
the Skyrim kid.
Yeah. But Outer Worlds look cool. Look like Obsidian doing their own thing, and playing through it, it's got that charm, it's got that wit, and it's got all those systems that you want. I will say, like, it's like the loot's a little like samey. Like I've got some like gripes about it, but like, and I haven't played enough of it. I haven't gotten past the first area yet, but I'm like at the end of the first quest. I've just been kind of doing some like exploring and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Haven't picked it up since Red Dead, which we'll talk about maybe next. Which is our background anyway. But it's good. It's a lot of fun. I mean, like the characters are really good. The writing's pretty good. And like the art direction and the stylings are really fun, and like I've been having a lot of fun like blasting through it. I mean, like it's not like revolutionary, it doesn't like reinvent the wheel, but like they play to their strengths with utilizing those like RPG systems with like persuasion and intellect and like repairing stuff, medicine, whatever. You can spec your guy out and like pull those levers when you get the chances, and it's fun. I definitely need to continue playing through it and get more time with it, but I recommend it. And if you got Xbox Game Pass on PC, just install it. It's super fun.
I've heard that if you put your stats in such a way where your intelligence is at like the absolute minimum, you have dialogue options specifically for that. You get like dumb dialogue.
The game has a great sense of humor.
Great. That's the thing.
Super funny.
I'm gonna put all my points into strength and take all my points from intelligence away and just be a big like dumb like that melee.
You should do that. The melee is fun. I have a tendency of like starting off, and I always like to do like high intelligence and charisma builds.
Nice.
Just because you see where that gets you. But the checks I've gotten through have been pretty easy so far. But it's I'm an early game. I haven't beaten it. I'm like level like 5 or 6 or I don't know. Yeah. But it's fun. I definitely recommend it.
I feel you. Like you said too, where it doesn't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
We can throw it.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna skip ahead. This guy's just been
yammering on.
Listen to this guy talk. So you can see the inventory, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. But it's like it reinflated the tire. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go.
Fucking here.
This is our favorite part of the whole deal.
Right now. But yeah, it's like you're having the tire reinflated after seeing what happened with.
Yeah, that is such a good way of putting it. Having the tire reinflated. Oh my god.
But someone else had to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing, the whole time in with it. The week Outer Worlds came out, Bethesda, what does Bethesda decide to do? I mean, it's obviously old news at this point, but you know what?
This doesn't make it less ironic.
That was such gold. Like, I mean, there's been some gems of like PR messes this year.
Yeah, they handed them
like just this generation in general. But, it's like they did it on purpose to get the attention on them again, whether or not it was positive or negative attention.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. They really should have just given it like a day or two, because it was just too. It was so on the nose,
like us exactly.
Because Outer Worlds was just like, yay! All right, this is fun. And then like Fallout's like, hey, you want to pay us $15 a month for like a shitty server, and like it's really not worth it.
Like,
but,
your materials are gonna get consumed, and you're not getting private servers. But we're gonna tell you that you're getting private servers, and we're gonna tell you that you have infinite storage space. Like, what the heck was that?
$100. Was it Fallout First? What's it called?
Fallout First. Yes. Yep. And oh man, my favorite part of that. They didn't bother to even get the domain claimed for the website, so someone got to it first and made that parody of everything. And again, since we're not monetized, we're not making money off of this, it's called Fallout Fuck You First. And it's just a whole mess of like, it's like a parody of the advertisement for what Fallout First is supposed to be selling at that $15 a month, $100 a year subscription. And that $100 a year is like, that's considered a discount.
Yeah.
Because mathematically, 15 times 12,
that's
more than 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: is I'm okay with paying for servers if you're getting like something legitimate out of it. Yeah. Like a lot of games have done that. Like Minecraft, you can pay for servers because you could do crazy shit on your server and like host a lot of stuff. In this game, it's not really like giving you a lot of those benefits that you would expect from a subscription to that level.
Yeah.
What was also really funny is like after it came out and people started subscribing to it, there was like class warfare in the game. Like people were attacking.
They started the guys and like the people who were getting attacked for going into this service. They were calling everyone else peasants.
Yeah.
I heard that from my roommate and I was died. Oh my god.
Yeah. So good.
Oh my god.
You can't afford the subscription service.
Peasants.
Peasants.
Dude,
that's the best kind of emerging gameplay.
That's the best thing I've heard about Fallout 76.
Yeah.
God damn, that's funny. But it's
the
crazy.
laughs never stop.
Yeah.
With Fallout 76.
That's got to be the worst game to ever launch.
At
this point,
I don't know, man. I wasn't there for it, but E.T. sounded like a...
True, that
Well,
shit shut down gaming for a little
Fallout
bit.
76 is special. Like
That is a word that you could use.
It's got so many different failures that like you just wonder like like what like why did you guys like slow down and like think about a couple of these things, you know? Like you've got I mean, aside from just the game being shitty, you know, like, and I bought the game. Full disclosure, I pay for the game. Like,
every right to say
yeah.
You're saying right
now. They should have given it just more time in the oven first, but you had like the bag issue, like
the nylon bags.
Yeah, the nylon bags
has
is the
nothing
canvas.
To do with anything in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
The moldy helmets. I think we went over that last time.
Well,
actually.
the moldy helmets one. That one's that one
Wait,
sucks.
I don't remember hearing about moldy helmets.
The pre-order helmets.
Okay, so pre-order helmets that were...
Yeah.
Now, these helmets were from GameStop, I think, not Bethesda themselves. But they were helmets that were specifically for promoting Fallout 76 with Bethesda's approval. And obviously, there was a deal made between the two companies. But these were GameStop Fallout 76 helmets, but they were still Fallout 76
power
helmets.
armor helmets?
And they were moldy.
Yeah,
they were like,
they were the power
they were
armor
like
helmets.
not just moldy, but like moldy to a point where it was like, yeah, you do not put that on your head.
Yeah.
Like, do not.
But I
do
think it was a shipping issue.
As
I don't
a
know if that was like
health
on Bethesda on that one, but
Yeah.
But you had that as well. I mean, aside from the bag issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just one of many things. That's just
Yeah.
scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Like Fallout first, moldy helmets, nylon bags. I mean, obviously the release
rum.
itself,
Yeah.
the price drop a couple weeks later for Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
The fact that they delayed Fallout Wastelanders past the end of this year and then dropped Fallout first.
Yeah.
All of that, the fact that Todd, I mean, I'm not going to really say, but I am just saying, I'm just kind of venting that Todd Howard confirmed that the creation engine that they used, it's basically like a reused engine of Morrowind's engine.
Well, yeah.
They're
I mean,
using it for...
people throw it around a lot, but I think, it is essentially like it is the same framework. They've made upgrades to it.
They could. I mean, they could. They've made
They
some
should
upgrades.
move away from it.
They
should
have
move away
made
from
some
it.
upgrades, but I think they should. I do think they should just make a new engine, or at least borrow one or something. I don't know. Just go on
could
Real.
license one.
They
could
could.
get over yourselves and license.
Yeah,
one of
well,
these
okay,
awesome
but here
engines that's out there.
there's a
mean-
couple things. This is just I'm not saying they should not move to a more technically comparable or competent engine.
Okay.
I think there's a few things behind why they've stuck with it, and I think a lot of it goes to the modding community.
Yeah,
because there's sets of tools that they're just kind of built upon themselves with the engine, and the community is so familiar with it. I think Bethesda is in a similar mindset where they know what they're working with, and granted, it's like the engine is creaky, and they definitely need to like move to something that's more capable.
But it is accessible for the community to toy around.
Yeah,
with.
yeah, and also for them, they know how to like develop content for that in their pipeline. But it's a complex issue. Yeah.
So
to bring that into multiplayer just kind of sounds like something
that was the biggest issue with 76. Yeah.
Is this the reveal on how much they actually rely on the modder community to make their games viable?
Yeah,
and to, keep the popularity going, because now that it's an online, always running kind of thing, you can't do the same shit like that. Like you can't just come over and set it up like you did with Fallout 4 VR, and we sat down and you just like, yo, this model make it dope, this model make it dope, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And now my only experience with that is that modded version. I don't even know what Bethesda had for me out the door.
Yeah.
And even the release of that.
Well, Fallout 4 is a whole nother
Fallout 4 is another can of worms.
Yeah.
So my question is this.
Yeah.
Is Bethesda just ready to hang it up?
Are
they that fucking athlete that's like, I got a name, I get paid for this, but I'm just tired of playing this game.
They've been phoning it in. I'm curious. I think for me, my ultimate judgment on where Bethesda is going as a studio is going to be Starfield.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've just been releasing filler.
Yeah.
Because they want Starfield.
It's mostly just been like re-releases of Skyrim as far as like Bethesda game studios. I mean, like if you're talking like Wolfenstein and Doom and stuff, that's been okay. I like Doom, and I'm excited for Doom Eternal. I was bummed
and you've got Bethesda Softworks, and you've got Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just talking about Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
Bethesda Softworks, they've been doing some cool stuff with the development with like Wolfenstein and Prey and whatnot.
Exactly, getting the other developers and stuff taking care of things. But no, Bethesda Game Studios, that is where the whole deal is. What's going on in there, like.
Yeah, what's going on in there?
What's happening?
Yeah. It's. I mean, they've lost a lot of faith. I mean, people have always kind of like given them a pass up to a point, and I feel like they've kind of just they've worn that out.
Then some.
Yeah.
They wore it out and didn't even realize they wore it out. They thought they were still revered. And that's when it just starts to look like you're just a detached asshole. You don't even see that everyone is pissed off at you right now. You're acting like we're all cool. Right. And I was like, fuck you. Like, what's up, bro? What? You know what I'm saying?
I had to leave you hanging to keep the analogy going. Like, is that just... Dude...
It's ridiculous.
Nope.
They're so disconnected from reality, it seems like right now.
Yeah.
Like they're living off of they're more than anyone I've ever seen almost living off of their own legacy.
Yeah.
And not even like recent legacy. They're still attached to like 10 years ago kind of legacy. And it's weird to see that Bethesda and BioWare are in this place where they're both maligned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were both the cream of the crop. Could do no wrong for a long time, and now it's just like, what?
I mean, at least with BioWare, you kind of feel like that EA was just like kind of pushing their buttons and doing things to make matters, not better.
Right.
I mean, you're right. They do have that to lean on, and there's still room for them to save face because they've only released really one bad game. They did piss people off with the ending of Mass Effect 3 a while back. They tried to fix it, but that wasn't a bad game.
I mean, Andromeda, I haven't played Andromeda, so I'm not going to say, but, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. That's the... And even so, there's good things about Andromeda. It's just, overall, for what it is, it's not a good game.
This series just doesn't do justice to the Mass Effect series.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If it wasn't a Mass Effect game, it would not have got drugged the way it was.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was just like
the shit it got.
You were dragging that legacy through the dirt by kind of not doing it that degree of justice that it ultimately deserves. Like, at the point of the third one's release, I mean, the ending aside, it was still regarded as a good game. Very good game in general. Decent conclusion to the series besides the whole pick your color deal. And even then, we could dedicate an episode to me arguing that, you know what, it wasn't that bad. It was still a good ending.
It was outrage,
like,
man.
yeah.
It was a good game until... That's why they were so pissed off. Because it was so good until that point. Like,
exactly.
That's how we ended that?
I still need to play the third one.
Yeah.
But we haven't said it. Well, you're not even going to see the original ending.
Honestly, I didn't even care.
You're not going to see the original ending, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
It was anticlimactic in a lot of ways. But they only... So they made that trip up at the end of a good game, but they've only made one game where you're like, what the fuck? Well, I guess Anthem. So 2 games back.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, but speaking of Anthem 2.0,
here they're gonna do an overhaul. I'm curious to see what they can do.
They're doubling down.
You know, it's all they can do. What else are you gonna do?
I agree, man. We're done here.
They could
divert those funds to something dope.
Yeah, but
they're kind of doing what Bethesda's doing with Fallout in the sense that they're keeping it alive because they need a return on their investment.
Yeah,
in some way.
How much are you gonna invest?
Well, I mean,
you're gonna make that an impossible.
How much
scenario.
could they have invested to begin with, given
a lot?
Well, I mean, not enough apparently. Like either it was poorly managed, or whatever. But like, that is Anthem on anyone's Game of the Year radar? No.
Hell no. Hell, flop of the year.
I mean,
I'll put it in that category for sure.
When everyone was looking forward to it, it was kind of where Jedi Fallen Order was a few days ago before launch, because we were all hoping, you know what, wait and see. It's BioWare. We, apparently the team got divided, and we outsourced a lot of stuff for Mass Effect Andromeda, so Anthem will be good. The reason Mass Effect Andromeda was bad was because Anthem will be good, right? Right.
So to answer that question too, like, what else do they do?
Well, I mean,
you brought up the EA example. Yeah. Finally getting it right with the Star Wars license, right?
Yeah.
So to me, instead of doubling down on fucking Anthem, even if you succeed with it, how many people are gonna come back to check it out?
Get the Andromeda folk to keep Anthem alive, and then get the main team on to the next game. And I mean, I think it's gonna be Dragon Age, but I wish it was Mass Effect. I don't care about Dragon Age.
Exactly. I feel like they need to go back to Mass Effect with the same attitude. You know how kind of they canceled 30-30 on the single player games? Like, it's just not viable. And then when they Jedi Fallen, like, we're announcing this single player game, no multiplayer. Like, what the fuck? We've been saying this the whole time. You said this is bad. Don't act like this is your idea. But I feel like they need to take that same approach with Mass Effect. Just go back to the drawing board, almost be humble about it. Put all your resources into making it what it should be.
I'm actually really excited for 10 years from now when indie games have the, technical know-how to create games on par with like the Xbox 360 and, PlayStation 3, so we can just get some indie Mass Effect spiritual sequels. Like, I'd love that.
What's it called? Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade is indie game.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is, but it's not. I'm talking about the Mass Effect one specifically. Like, have a full-on like indie game, but it's also like got that quality and scope that Mass Effect has.
True,
I mean, Hellblade is a visually stunning game, and honestly, Ninja Theory now being under Microsoft's funding, they should be able to create even bigger and better games. Fingers crossed.
Heavenly Sword sequel.
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
What's the name of the one they're doing right now? It's like a multiplayer. I think it's called Bleeding Edge. I don't know, but it's like, it looks like a colorful multiplayer shooter or battle something or other. Okay. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like Overwatch or something like that, but I don't remember if that's the name of it or not. But I mean, XO19 was pretty recent as far as stuff that's happened.
Looking though, some of the stuff that's coming out apparently is pretty big shit.
So there was a game that was unveiled coming from both Obsidian and Rare, and they were both. Well, I don't know. Do you know when the Rare one is coming out? I forgot if that one got a release date.
I think that one's a while off. I just saw some headlines. I didn't watch the.
Okay, for sure. So I watched
another one. Gotta save some face after Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Well, the Sea of Thieves, man. Oh, that was a whole thing. Now, okay, so between those two games and those two companies, the one for Rare, I think that's going to be on Xbox Scarlet. I think that's a ways off, and that is the one that looks better, to be honest. This Obsidian one looks like a smaller game. It's coming out on Xbox One, and it's going to be in the summer, I believe. But the Obsidian game they showed, it was called Grounded. Now imagine a 3-way between Fortnite, Ark, and the Ant Bully.
Yeah.
You know, like, or A Bug's Life, or,
or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah.
Okay,
I saw a little bit about that.
So
that looks cool, man.
That is Obsidian's
It's like you got my
game
attention.
that's coming up, and we'll see how it goes. It looks a little childish. I will say that much.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
a little kid friendly, like excessively. But we'll see. It still looks kind of fun, but it's like they got that building aspect that Fortnite has. They have the survival aspect of something like Minecraft or Ark or something, and obviously a building like Minecraft. But the building actually looks more like Fortnite, and as far as how you do it, it's like staircases instead of blocks and walls and floors. And the other game, I forgot what it was called, but the one Rare was doing, it had like a much more stylized look, big focus on wildlife. I don't know. It looks interesting. Looks intriguing. But main thing for me was, I'd been just sitting in the corner waiting for them to confirm when Halo Reach was going to come out for Master Chief Collection and come out on computer.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out how to live stream some Halo Reach for you guys.
Yeah,
we might do some, might do some
Yeah,
legendary
that
all
campaign
schools
is all
on.
Yeah.
Might have to do these two versus me.
Yeah.
We'll
2v1.
Why is it got to be adversarial?
yeah.
Why can't we
Actually,
just go
here's
through
the
the
thing.
campaign together?
Well, I mean, we
This is
could.
a squad of Spartans, and we could choose a Spartan, and each one could get a different perspective on your preferred streaming platform.
To be
or we
fair,
could just battle for supremacy.
I mean, well, a little bit of both. I don't know, but I just want to say, I've been participating in the flights, and it's been really cool seeing how it's developing. I was telling you guys a little bit before I'm just so excited because they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be all like one cohesive package once everything's released. And the way they've like integrated, like all the features that you would want from a PC experience of Halo, it's all there. And they're treating it with the respect it deserves and adapting it like as well as you could. I was telling Zach, like I was playing through it, and this was the campaign, and I was like at whatever graphic settings, like the highest I could with it, but it was only using like 20% of my GPU, like going through, and it was like at 100, like I had it locked at like 144 hertz. It's like I love it because like old games like that, you could just fucking crank that shit, and
and it's still like
Yeah.
I mean, Halo is just like it's aged beautifully. Like it's still like an awesome looking game. Even if you're talking about like Halo 1 or 2, especially like, obviously for the time, but they still got that solid visual design and like the music, you guys. I've been listening to Halo music.
I literally I was at work the other day like reading about the Halo news, and like I pulled up just like the Halo theme, like just like I wanted to listen to it.
Man.
Yeah, I know you guys have seen the YouTube video, the viral video of the guy. I think it was from an NFL training camp where he starts going, oh.
Yeah.
He turns around and everyone starts doing that shit.
I don't think I've seen that.
I'm showing you.
Yeah, you got to show me
great,
that.
man.
That sounds good.
It's seriously like 20 dudes in an acoustic environment all nailing the Halo theme. It's great. It's great.
Yeah,
and I just hear the battle music.
That's when that kicks in. That's
That's
it's all about.
For that shit, man. And the fact that you telling me they took the time to show the love to the PC version.
Yeah.
How long have people been like, when Halo 5 came out, was it coming out on PC? Never did. That's the Red Dead Redemption of the Halo. Like, why the fuck did that not come out?
Good segue. Sorry. I mean, Halo. I'm very excited for Halo. Sorry, I want to talk about Red Dead 2. I want to talk about Red Dead now.
I will say, I can't wait to see just crisp Halo.
Yeah.
Just
Crisp.
Especially because I played 5 on the Xbox One, and it was just that dynamic resolution. You could tell. I want to see it without that.
Killtacular.
Oh yeah, running right. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC.
Yeah. Okay, it's about time. It came out about a year ago on the consoles, but now it's coming on PC.
Yeah.
It's been a rough launch. Rough launch for some people, not for me. I had no problems. I'm not gonna lie.
I definitely had some just getting it going.
Look, sometimes you got to go through a few hoops, but that's I don't know.
It was worth it.
It's
it was definitely worth it.
You make it happen.
It was a battle though. I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to figure it out. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Had to make some things just to get it past the intro.
Yeah.
Of the bullets falling down and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Once I did though. My God.
See, here's the thing: is I preloaded it because I pre-ordered the game like 2 hours before it released, like because I was like, you know what, I know I'm gonna buy this like tomorrow, so I might as well get it within these. And I'd seen enough reviews online, and I was like, I don't know. With that said, holy shit, a lot of people had issues getting this game going.
Yeah,
like I saw on the subreddit people going to great lengths, like updating their BIOS.
Oh shit.
All sorts of crazy shit that I would never do to just play a game, you know. But it worked for some people. But it was a lot of people like on like Ryzen based systems. Some of the issues I saw seemed like people like tied to the Epic Game Store. But honestly, for me on my system, I got it preloaded. I installed the drivers. It was fun. I did it while I was at work because I got a remote destoff app. And I left my PC.
I see you.
And I wasn't sure.
In the future.
Dude, yeah, it was great. I just like pulled it up and like. Because I was I almost woke up like early to play the game, but I only woke up enough to like turn it on and like let it update more. Get that beautiful footage rolling.
Get that up there.
But I left. Yeah, I just left it.
I'm anticipating these bad boys.
Right.
I'm on YouTube. I got your new game plan. I'm ducking and dodging.
Yeah, I left that the launcher just chilling in the background, and then I updated to the game ready drivers for it. And once I got home, I mean, I just started it up and like, you know, dove right in, and I was happy to be able to play. A lot of people were just getting different errors. You could like launcher errors or just game errors, crashing, all sorts of shit. Fortunately for me, it was just, you know, what I expected. And man, just I love it. This is towards the beginning, and it's such a good intro. I don't play in first person. What about you?
I've just clicked in and out just when I want to look at something up close or just check the graphics out. But I might do what I did with GTA 5 because I played initially, you know, in regular view. But when they did the re-release,
do a first-person playthrough.
I did a whole first-person playthrough, and it was amazing. Yeah,
you know, I might do that at some point. But yeah, I agree. At this point, I'm just going through and just enjoying the view and like, I don't know, man. It's such a fucking scenic game, so cinematic.
Oh my god,
unbelievably cinematic. I cannot believe just because it's not a fast-paced game.
No,
you know what I mean. It's a very deliberately paced game.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
I like it too. I can see some people being like, "Oh, action, whatever." No, but they make it such an enjoyable ride at that pace. It's like to me. You know, some people are like, yo, you get that car, man, it's got the ride, it's just smooth, you just cruise. You don't want to go fast. It's like, I don't know, like a Cadillac or something. Like, this is like the Cadillac of video games. Yeah. You just want to go for that cool-ass ride. Yeah. You don't want to go too damn fast. You just want to get it soaking in.
Yeah, no, there's points where it's like, you know, I want to do this faster, like looting or whatever. But like, when I'm like moving, I love like chilling with my horse. I brush my horse. I take care of my horse. I love my horse. my horse, I've named it Rocinante. And you know, she takes me around, and we go from city to city, and I feed her carrots and, you know, sugar cubes. You know, we have a relationship.
Oh yeah, it's like your Tamagotchi.
It's my horse.
Your 2019 Tamagotchi, bro.
Yeah.
You get way more use out of it.
But dude, the game it's so fantastic. I mean, worth the wait. I know it's like old news at this point. It's been out, so like people are, you know, like know what the game is like, but on PC,
not everybody though. There's some people who waited. For sure.
And that makes two of us here. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 in this circle.
You know, I couldn't wait for Red Dead. I couldn't wait for Death Stranding.
Well, no, but
we'll
I mean,
get to that in a bit.
But good.
We'll talk about that later.
Table that, get that table that's coming. But yeah, man, it's what I wanted, you know, and it scales as well as I hoped it would. You know, with GTA 5 when it came out, when I got into it, I had waited, I think, like a year or so, and I upgraded some hardware, and I don't know, it's always been one of my favorite games to benchmark.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I upgrade anything,
Oh yeah.
GTA is the game I go into and like, you know, run a benchmark, whether it's like upgrading my RAM or just moving it from an HDD to an SSD or like a new processor or a new GPU. Because I went through like some weird waves of upgrading hardware with the way my platforms worked. But GTA 5 has always been my go-to, and it scales so well. Like with everything that I do, you get that little benefit, and I feel like Red Dead is going to be that next one. But granted, it's mostly just going to be CPU and GPU.
And it's going to be harsh.
But dude, yeah, like it makes my GPU cry. And I have a nice mix of like high and low and like a couple ultra settings. Or not high and low, high and medium, and it's a nice mix, and I'm really happy with the way it looks and plays. Like my frame rate's like, depending where I'm at, you know, high 60s, low 80s.
Okay.
Sometimes dips here and there, but like, you know, on average, that's where I'm trucking.
That's what's up. So I'm running mine on my TV, so I'm running the resolution up, so I'm probably in the 40s.
But you're at 4K. You're at fucking 4K,
exactly,
dude.
Yeah. And I'm surprised, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had to knock some stuff down, find the sweet spot, help a little with the NVIDIA tool.
Another ad. Gross.
You got me.
YouTube. Nah. No, but I mean, that 4K, like at native 4K with like what this game is offering, it's so much. I mean,
it's a lot.
I'm amazed at what they're putting on the screen a lot of times.
Yeah. And the lighting, man, that's the thing where I'm looking at it with. I didn't realize they didn't have atmospheric lighting in the console version. The way all the pictures, it just never occurred, and I see the difference that even just that one feature makes. It goes right back to when they brought GTA 5 over.
Yeah,
they're showing the love, man. They're like, we're gonna make this an experience. And to me, I feel like this would be worth it, even though I didn't buy it on console, to double dip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This would be one that. If you wanted to play through it again, I would be like, this is the
that's the kicker with these Rockstar games. It's like, as much as like I shit on them for like, all right, you re-released it, like they're putting out like a good thing, like a really quality product. But it's just, oh man.
Plus, I played through GTA 5 like 4 times.
Mode,
you know what I mean? So I'm probably gonna do the same thing with this. It's not just gonna be a one-off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they definitely. Out of all the developers out there, I feel like you get your bang for your buck when you buy a Rockstar game.
No doubt.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, a single playthrough is usually going to clock you at least 20-something hours, like minimum. Like if you just blaze through it, you know, like I'd probably average at least 30, 40 on like the main story on most GTA games, just because you have so much fun.
There's so
like,
much that you can do. Like you can go bowling or play darts or go on a shooting spree or go play the cheat codes and do all the motorcycle jumps and ride a helicopter or watch TV there's so much you can do.
Well, I was
the
done.
multiplayer on top of all that.
Oh my god!
I've never even done the multiplayer in GTA 5. Never.
I just did my feet.
There's a lot.
I just barely got into the online on this just to kind of get my account set up because one of my buddies is playing. He's like, hey, check it out.
You know, I kind of want to get back into it. I enjoyed it when it was starting. I know there were some problems, but I still got my enjoyment out of it. You know, but kind of want to go back to it. You're making me want to. Really making me want to.
Yeah, dude.
I might. I don't know. At some point. I probably will at some point.
Yeah. It'll happen. It'll happen.
I'm not too worried.
But it's there's just so much to do in the game, and I was gonna say I played so much fucking poker already. like
easy to do that, man.
I played 3 or 4 hours of just straight poker, and like making like no money too, because like you buy in with like $5, so you can make like a max like 20, like getting out of it, and that's not a lot, you know, comparatively speaking.
Right.
I've been fooled sometimes too. I feel like I'm really playing poker against the AIs. Like, wait, what the? You had?
I've had a lot of interesting hands. I mean, I've gotten into some crazy. I got a 4 of a kind the other day. First time I've ever gotten 4 of a kind.
Wow.
But I've had a lot of split pots and just like interesting stuff. What I've noticed is the AI will bet heavily with like what they see with what is on the table. Like, for example, if like there's like a pair on the table, if they've got nothing, they'll still bet on that pair on the table.
Yeah.
So you can kind of find their patterns, but it's still fun. Like, and it's pretty good poker AI, and I don't know, I'm a fiend for that.
All right.
I wonder if because I remember in the last one, you start winning too much, people get mad, they'll fucking attack you and shit. You have to get some shootouts after your poker game. I'm waiting to see that.
I haven't ran to that yet, but I have cleaned out like the full table a couple times, but I haven't ran into that. Maybe.
I remember that in the last one. Wait, cool. How are you? You like hustling me, son?
Right.
Wait, that can happen?
I like that.
Yeah, hopefully that pops up, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is phenomenal. It's been worth the wait, man. I can't stress that enough.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm glad that we've been in such a golden age of gaming to where the spoilers and stuff for that kind of died out quick because other stuff would come out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would have hated to have this experience spoiled in any way. Cause
I'm glad it wasn't. You know, I'm glad nothing's been spoiled for you. I mean, like, the game does take place before the original Red Dead Redemption. So there are certain implications with that knowledge. But apart from that, it is still like, oh, man. I mean, it was my... Okay, let me put it this way. If Smash Bros. And Monster Hunter were not my game of years last year, if it were between God of War and Red Dead, to me, I would have chosen Red Dead. So, I'm excited for you guys. I mean, you haven't played God of War yet, so...
Not yet. No, my brother's going to let me borrow his PlayStation, so...
No, God of War is great.
I'll have to get down on that.
It's great.
Yeah.
But
it's beyond great, man.
It is amazing, but so is Red Dead, and I find Red Dead more so amazing. But that's just me, and I mean, I'll say that for just the story, the fact that they're even comparable. But I will say, for me, the story of Red Dead was on that level, if not better. To me, it was better.
Yeah,
but that's just me. I mean, I'll tell you about what I think about the God of War in a moment, but once we're off air. Anyway. So yeah, that's one that you guys have been waiting for, and that's been worth the wait for you so far. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's
that's good. It's understandable.
A lot of fun.
Like the fact that they do put in that much, extra for it, and I'm gonna have to see what you guys are talking about with the atmospheric fog or lighting or
all of it.
Yeah.
Also, I pulled the video.
They just they extend a lot of the range of effects, and I don't know the LODs, like the level of detail for like things in the draw distance, like
okay,
just seeing that stuff. It's
even the grass.
Yeah. It just looks so fucking real.
Yeah.
Even the grass. If you crank up the view settings for that shit, you literally can see the grass as far as you can see. You will not be able to see where it renders.
I mean, it wowed me on a base PlayStation 4. It wowed me on a base Xbox One S. So like,
one of the things that astounds me about it is like the low level of pop-in. Like I don't notice things like just like like bushes and plants and objects popping into view as you're moving along the terrain.
Right.
It's all consistent. They've got that like asset streaming down. It's just like it's so natural going through everything, and like I don't know, everything. One of the things I love about it is it's so diegetic. Everything in the game is in the game. Like you go to buy a weapon, you go like you look at the catalog and you open the book and like you look through the pages to buy your gun.
Yep.
Like everything is just so grounded. Sometimes to a fault, but like for the most part, it's all so well done.
Yeah.
The only gripes I have with it are like for example, I ran into a stranger and she was like, my horse died, I need a ride. And I was like, oh, let me help you. And I got off my horse and like I was talking to her. And then, like, I was trying to get back on my horse, and then I punched her. and then I started choking her, and I'm like, whoa, I just wanted to get on my horse. But it went to, like, straight into, like, choking her, and I'm like, okay, that's not quickly. Not what I wanted to do. But that was, like, there's just, she was standing too close to my horse.
Yeah.
So,
you're too close, man.
There's going to be There's gonna be those moments. I remember. You're giving me flashbacks right now. I remember one time I was trying to get on my horse and I punched it in the face and then it kicked me in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just full on like.
That'll happen, I guess.
Decked him.
Yeah.
Poor horse.
Yeah.
But then again, he was a big horse. You know, I got punished.
Yeah.
But
This is hilarious, dude. Well, even like little details too. When you're in fights and your hat flies off,
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
go pick up your hat.
Yeah.
I was walking away one time. I was like, I have a hat on.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta go back to where I was gonna get my damn hat and my gun.
You can get it from your horse, too.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
to be fair,
so if it falls off, like you can just leave it.
You can leave it, you can get it on your horse.
Okay, man,
Yeah.
I got a little paranoid. I got my gun knocked out of my hand. I had to go find that shit.
Oh, that I don't know about, but you can your horse. You can go to like horse items and like your hat, pop back up. Yeah,
It's cool. You can use the horse.
From what I remember, I think you're okay on the weapons, but I'm not positive.
Yeah.
But from what I remember,
yeah, I was confused on that because like I kept finding these cool revolvers and like I was like, is this gonna replace it? And can I not get the other ones? But you go back to your horse and you can cycle through them.
Yeah.
So
Let's see. Have you you said you kind of dipped your toes in the multiplayer a little bit?
a little bit. I mean, I just got like my character started. I haven't gotten to I don't know. Like I made my character, like did the initial like breakout thing, and then I did like a mission where I could go find some guys and like do a camp thing, and it's I haven't gotten
into
to a point where like I'm like settled like
exactly.
You know,
They're still kind of getting you started and everything, introducing you to like that whole deal.
Yeah.
Well, I heard they introduced shit in that game for a long time.
Yeah,
the first 15 hours is like a long ass tutorial.
You know, it's like certain games just unfold in that way where they just keep on unveiling gameplay elements that you didn't have access to before, and they keep on giving you more and more and more. And this is one of those games where that's definitely kind of the case. What with hunting and fishing and like just a bunch of stuff you can do. Not to the exact degree of Grand Theft Auto, but I mean that makes sense, I guess. Gosh, really good stuff. I'm excited for you guys.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be hearing about it. You definitely be hearing about
but you need to tell us about this new game by a fella named Hideo Kojima.
Oh, this one.
It's come out.
I just like
so
those.
He's pretty new, right?
Yeah, well,
he's pretty new.
I mean, I've been into him for a while. You know, I mean, like, if you haven't heard about him, that's okay. You know, I heard about him before he was cool.
I've got one of those.
One of those parts.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me gatekeep this media from you. No, I haven't even played this new game, but Zach, you have, haven't you?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you before he gets into this something he said to me the other day. We're at work and I'm asking. He was watching. He goes, "Hey man, Death Stranding is getting weird." And it was the most fitting. It's everything I could have hoped to hear about the game.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's led up to it, all the mixed reviews, Kojima being Kojima, the fucking babies, the umbilical cord soldiers, all of it.
Yeah.
So to hear that, I'm just like, fuck yeah, it is. Like,
yeah, you're goddamn right. It's getting
all
weird.
of that before you even played it, and then be like, this shit is getting weird.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you were talking about. What made you say that? Man.
You know, I won't get into that, and I don't want to over-exaggerate anything, because I will say I am still at a point. I've put in about 15 hours, and I'm still at a point where not all, but a strong majority of what I've seen has already been unveiled in marketing material from Kojima or reviews. Now, most reviews, I'm pretty sure all the reviews were like, chapter 1, 2, and 3, and nothing past that.
Yeah.
And I see why based on what happened in chapter 4, but I won't get into that. But that being said, it's like, I am excited for that to come out on computer, because the visuals, I gotta start with the visuals. Dude, that game, I'm on a base PlayStation 4, but I'm on a big, like, 50-inch, TV. And that game just looks great, and the environments and the variety. It's like it seems like not a single asset is reused in the world, which has a bunch of, just rocks and mountains and hills and cliffs and, having it based on, you have this scanner and all these little dots indicate, the ability to, whether or not you're going to trip over certain stuff. The blue and the yellow is, the depth of the water and the rivers and stuff like that. And you have a certain amount of... it's all about managing your stuff. It kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, you got the topology of the ground. You have to manage the terrain. I like that because the locomotion is a big part of the game.
Every time he falls, bro, it's so clumsy looking. Jeez.
So goofy.
I'm gonna cut you off.
Oh no!
You're good.
They do it on purpose. It's like they want. Hideo Kojima was talking about as the game was leading up to the release, how you're not Snake. You're not They even say it in the game, if you were a spy on a secret mission, you would have failed, but you're not. So you're good. And
man.
I mean, to give a little context, I've only played through Metal Gear Solid 4. That was my only Kojima game. I've never played any of the others.
Oh man, what did you think when you were going through 4? Because I couldn't imagine not playing any of the games and then playing Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is just like...
I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I enjoyed it anyway. It's still Kojima, when people say it's a Kojima game, whether they're talking about Metal Gear or Death Stranding or not Metal Gear Survive,
man,
you see what they mean. Now, PT, that didn't feel as Kojima. It definitely had some Kojima things, vibes, but it was mostly just fucking scary.
Yeah, it just felt demented. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if we had gotten Silent Hills instead of Death Stranding, there's a part of me that wishes for that, but at the same time, I love Death Stranding. It's great. I am loving it. I'm loving it. I knew I would. I mean, I was into Low Roar before they were cool. And damn, this game features their music way more than anyone else. Yeah. So I'm really happy. Nice. I am a happy camper.
Visuals are gorgeous.
Dude, it's like they, I've always... we've always played video games, and it's the patch of grass is just a repeat over and over and over again in a game like Skyrim or something like that. But I mean, dang, every single...
Not with the right mods, though.
Exactly.
Community.
Just gotta say.
Right?
Yeah.
See?
But a developer releasing that day one and having it look that good, I mean, the Decima engine is just incredible. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn... Wow.
No, part 2 is going to be ridiculous.
That's going to be...
We don't got to talk about it, but
but...
Wow.
Yeah. So this game is in... okay, well, it's not for everyone. Yeah. Not everyone's going to like it, but, I was excited for this game because I wanted something different, and this is different. And this is very much a Kojima game. Absolutely. Excuse me. Story's getting good, the ball's rolling, but like I say, most of this stuff is kind of stuff that I've seen. I have learned some things. I've learned some things about certain characters, and I won't really get into it.
Well, yeah, don't tell me a goddamn thing about that.
Yeah, but, it's... Man, it is quite a thing. I wish I had more time to play it.
Yeah,
because, it's like
there's too much happening right now.
You can't really play it unless you have at least an hour to put into it.
Right. Oh yeah. Just cutscenes notwithstanding, you're gonna get cut and
it's like you're trying to get from point A to point B without these ghouls killing you and hundreds of other people potentially, because it's your character. And I won't get into it, but there's not game over screens really, except for certain boss fights, and I haven't gotten a game over screen, but from what reviews have said, certain boss fights, if you die, you have to start over and fight them again. Yeah. But in my experience, you can either defeat it's certain things you encounter, you can run the fuck away because you didn't prepare and bring any of those weapons. You can... Well, those are the only two options. I don't know why I kept going. But
that's good enough.
As time goes on, as you connect more cities throughout the country, you get access to other players' contributions, kind of like, when the game was coming out, they were like calling it a new genre and everything. And, there is no game like this, so I get that aspect of it. But the whole online aspect it's pretty similar to Dark Souls, to be honest. I mean, it's like, you're leaving signs, and it's a passive multiplayer experience where it's like you never actually see anyone in your world walking around, but you see what they leave behind.
Clues and stuff,
And it's like, with this, it's less, it's less clues, and it's more like,
some physical stuff, though, too.
Yeah,
right?
it's
like
more
bridges,
social media and actual physical things, bridges, ladders, ropes to climb up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I won't say any of the later stuff, because there's some stuff that is like cool that I am excited, because I haven't even used some of this stuff yet. But dang, I am excited to come into a situation where that's going to be convenient for me, and I'm going to be like, I came prepared. It's actually really cool to have, this micromanaging and loadout system of the, what you're carrying with you, because it's, there's certain things it's like, okay, you got to carry the stuff that you're ordered to deliver, obviously. Right. And depending on the size of that order and the distance you're going and the terrain you're going on and the equipment you have access to or don't have access to, as far as choosing your loadout and stuff like that, you have stuff you can deliver, you have stuff you can use as far as ladders and weapons and gear and stuff like that, you have materials, and
you just got a whole lot more.
That's the thing, you can and lost cargo. It's talking about lost cargo, which you can deliver, and when you see lost cargo on a scanner, it'll say this is where you need to deliver it to. But you can also deliver it anywhere else and leave it to another player to go deliver it the rest of the way for you. Nice. And that's just another small example of, how players can interact with each other. There are shared lockers and garages, so that if I leave a vehicle in a shared garage, someone else can take that vehicle out of the garage so they can use it for themselves. Man, it's just, I love it, and I am sure you guys are gonna love it. To be honest, it's like you know what to expect. People who are surprised or disappointed just didn't look into it enough. In my eyes,
right. I think, if you didn't see the signs coming, like this is gonna be fucking weird and different.
This will happen. You got to be careful.
Comedic, bro.
Dude. It's
what the fuck is on his back?
Now I have to. I'm sorry for saying this, but I will say this. Now, it's not a story spoiler or anything, but it is a thing that I have to vent about because I found it out, and this is my what the fuck really moment, and it's kind of funny. But here's the thing. It's like, okay, so there's this piece of equipment that you can use that is called like a power skeleton or a speed skeleton, where it's like this device that attaches to the outside of your legs to give your legs more support, so you can carry more weight without slipping or falling over as easily. Okay. But you can also get a speed skeleton that speeds your running up, so you can just fucking book it. Yeah. And when you're not using either of those pieces of equipment, you can fucking double jump like a Smash Bros character. You can sprint, and even if you got this much shit on, you can fucking get a running jump starting, and the option was there to press X to double jump. And I saw that, and I was like, I can fucking double jump?
That's awesome.
What?
It's cool. It's funny in a Kojima game.
But it makes it makes no sense. It's like I'm trying to immerse myself and buy into this, but Kojima just decided, no, I need to give you a reminder that this is a video game. And here's the kicker. The reason why I brought the speed skeleton up and stuff like that is because since I started using that stuff, I have not been able to double jump. I can only double jump if I don't have the technology that makes my legs even stronger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. that makes
I don't know sense. If that's maybe those things are not correlated, but that's the observation I've made, and
that's fucking hilarious.
That makes zero sense to me, but it also kind of reminds me to stay on my toes with Kojima, so I'm okay with that. But man, that's awesome. I am loving it, and I think I'm going to start doing more side quests just so I can kind of, pad the time and, just to enjoy it while I can, because that first playthrough, I'm not going to play it again until I get it on PC, and once I do, man, that's I might have to do what you were talking about with benchmarking and kind of, getting a new graphics card or something going on in there or something, I don't know. Just, something to think about.
Don't think about it too much like me. The hard itch to not scratch, and I'm just like...
Hey, I don't know, you guys. This is a little late for me now. I already got into the PC deal, so as long as the console market and the PC market kind of keeps going the way it goes for now, anyway.
It's always gonna be,
it's always gonna be that climbing up the ladder, that whole thing. Yeah. So I'm in too deep already at this point. But,
there's no turning back.
Yeah. Very happy about Death Stranding. I fucking knew it would come out this year.
Hey.
I want to talk about it.
So you'll be buying his PC version then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
I decided I was just like, I don't know if Adam's working on Thursday. I don't want to make him request that day off or I don't want to wait either though. So I'd but it's coming out on PC. So, that was my solution to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being willing to bet that with me.
Bro, ain't no fun if you ain't got nothing on the table, man. You know what I'm saying? And came out the victor.
Mm-hmm.
I shall have my vengeance next time.
This time I was the victor. We'll see what happens with something or other.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on Breath of the Wild 2020. I want that to happen, but I'm not betting on that.
Yeah.
I can't bet on that. There's not enough evidence for that.
Yeah.
Death Stranding I felt was a safe bet in my eyes. But
it was time. No, I think you got in with that one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good bet.
But man,
I wouldn't be surprised if that came out in 2020 though.
Late 2020 maybe.
That seems like it would shut shit down.
Oh man,
yeah.
I mean, that. If Death Stranding, Last of Us, and Cyberpunk and Animal Crossing were all the same year, that'd be a bit much for me. Like, it's already a bit much.
It's gonna be. Yeah, I'm already busy right now.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a
break.
break.
Look what they're doing to us in the spring.
Yeah,
man. It's gonna be ruthless.
It's gonna be bad.
Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm just gonna say part 1.
Bro, I'm geeking out internally about that.
Should I call it Final Fantasy VII remake 1? Final Fantasy VII 1 remake, or because they
Final Fantasy VII remake part 1.
Okay.
The intro.
Okay. I like that more because it's like, with Final Fantasy 13-2 Lightning Returns, it's 13
Definitive Edition special version.
Like Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
That's the one.
Good lord.
Man. But yeah, it's been crazy the last few weeks. It's been hard to just keep track of what's happening.
I mean, the whole thing with Blizzard, no less.
Oh yeah.
Good lord, and with
announcing
the Winnie the Pooh ban in South Park and the NBA in China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, actually, I think we already talked about China.
A little bit. I think we did last time. Yeah.
But it's interesting to see Blizzard coming out with all those announcements.
Oh, for real. After that, they were like, okay, guys, we gotta throw them a bone or two.
Diablo 4. Overwatch 2 ish. 2-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Some World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Expansions?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, you guys just flooding everything.
Yeah.
You really don't want anyone talking about that shit.
Right.
Apparently, the vice president of Blizzard, I think, was quit recently. I think. I'm not positive, but I think that was the company that I read.
China accepted his resignation.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
It's an interesting time in the gaming community. I feel bad for anyone who's working at Blizzard or is affiliated with them in such a way where they're just I don't know, stressing about it or whatever. But it can only really affect you so much, I guess. But there's been a lot. One company after the other seems to try to be, getting the most negative press that they can, whether it's Bethesda or Blizzard or even the Pokemon company with the new Pokemon game coming out. Dang. I mean, Did you guys see some of the review bombs? It was really funny. There was this one, it was like they had 900 plus negative reviews for user reviews on Metacritic and 300 positive, give or take, but it was a bunch of zeros and a bunch of tens. And I remember even some of the tens were kind of interesting because it's like you could tell they didn't want to rate the game that high, but they were like being told to by this outlet or whatever. Or like maybe not a 10, but like a 9 or an 8 or a positive review or something. And then they would say something like really sarcastic in the review, like when Charizard came on screen, I literally started crying. It was such an emotionally powerful moment. Like, it's Charizard, he's alive! So I thought that was really funny. But my roommate did get Pokemon Sword. He was facing the final fight, like the final boss, when I was leaving the house to come over here. So he's basically done with the game. He was saying it was really easy.
I'm not surprised after that.
Not surprised at all. Yeah. Let's go Pikachu. Oh, jeez. I mean, the last few, to be honest, I mean, it started with Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. That's when like they started to get a little too easy, I think. But I don't know. I'm not really as much of a Pokemon fan as I used to be. I dropped out after X and Y.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't played since like Yellow.
Yeah, that was the good times. Now, honestly, I think the generation after that was probably the best. Gold, Silver, and Crystal were very good. Like once you beat the original 8 gyms, you got to go through the 8 gyms from Yellow and Blue and Red, and they were all leveled up versions. So it was like that.
Oh, nice.
Once you beat the Elite Four in the first region, that was only like the halfway point of the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I mean,
it'll give you a little longer road.
Might give you a little more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon. Yeah. I'm not gonna buy it. I'll play his copy once I'm done playing his copy of Outer Worlds. But that's the thing. It's like I like being able to have access to a couple games here and there for free. And, But gosh, what else? Oh, I beat Getting Over It. I was very happy.
Oh yeah, we got a little footage queued up, not of you playing, but just of that game.
Gamer.
If you're not familiar with that game, Zach, why don't you explain it? I mean,
it's there was a couple of Flash games back in the day, one of which that I was more familiar with was called QWOP, as in the letters QWOP. And on a QWERTY keyboard, those 4 buttons are the top left, top right, and the adjacent, left and right ones next to those. So you have to alternate between pressing those buttons and holding them down for certain times to use the joints in your player character's legs to get them as far as you can, and you have to find a flow to everything, and it's silly, and your character always looks like when you run away from something in a dream and it feels like you're running through mud or something, but it's like you're barely going anywhere. That's what that game feels like. But the same guy, Bennett Foddy, created that, and he talks about it in the narration actually around this point of the game early on, and he's talking about how it was based on a game from 2002 or something like that called Sexy Hiking, and it was the same basic concept, but he turned it up to 11 in the physics and everything in this game and the way it all works. And there's this little circle on the screen that kind of directs where his hammer's going, and that circle and understanding how the force is applied through your controller on the mouse, because this is how you play. It's either a mouse or a trackpad. God bless anyone who plays this game with a trackpad.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus
that
Christ.
Sounds horrible. Yeah. I did not play this with a mouse pad. I would take my mouse pad off and swipe my keyboard out of the way and give myself as much room as I could on my desk.
Right.
And, oh man, this part with this red plank coming up, this little section is like the first difficult part of the game, really. If you can get past this part, then you can get to the next difficult part. And I'll say that much. But if we get there, then you'll see what I mean. But there's certain areas in this game where it's just like, oh man, I bought this in May of 2019 of this year, and man, I chose the wrong time in my life to get it. It was very frustrating that first half of my playthrough. I got very angry very many times, and that's just how it is. That's just
I
how
imagine.
it is.
Yeah.
It looks masochistic. It is. Just look at this shit. Look what we're looking at. Right
Yeah, this is still the hard part. But you do it enough and you learn it. Oh, see, he actually almost had it that time. That was impressive. But you'll have all these subtitles at the bottom that you guys can't see on screen, I think. But they're always the creator talking about his making of the game, or it's him reciting an inspirational quote from someone to troll you, because he waits until you fall in a significant amount to drop these inspirational quotes. And then he'll put on some music in the background, some light elevator music to kind of lighten the mood and try to calm you down, but it's not gonna, he knows it's not calming anybody down.
It's to make you angry.
And then sometimes he'll, instead of doing that kind of music, he won't say anything. He'll just put on like hick country song about going down the road feeling bad. It's just like, you'll just like, you imagine like you've been struggling and struggling and struggling, and you finally got past the part that you've been stuck at for like a half hour, and you fall like 10 seconds later on a fluke, and then that song starts playing, and you're just like, oh, I gotta show you guys a couple of streamers that, like, PewDiePie played this game and he got so angry. Everyone gets so angry when they play this game. But it's so funny. But I mean,
no way this is good for your health at all.
I mean, if you're already in a bad spot, you're just asking for trouble, man. You're just asking for trouble, and that's apparently what I was doing. But I gave myself some time off, and I got back to it and decided, you know what, man, I want to, I want to, and I did. So
yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get the will.
It's just like, and that's the thing. It's he even gets philosophical at the end, and he's like, in this, who are you, the player? Are you the hammer? Are you Diogenes? That's the name of the character, apparently. Diogenes. Are you the tip of the hammer? I don't think so. In all of this, you are his will.
Oh, this guy's an asshole.
No, he is.
This guy's an asshole.
There's a point where you get near the very end of the game where he basically says, and I'm going to be kind of paraphrasing here, we are the same, you and I. We know that if we actually won, we'd feel bad. You'd feel bad if you won. So I put this snake in the game for you, and it says, do not ride snake. And there's a snake there, and you can ride the snake, and it will take you down back to the very beginning of the game. And it's right next to an area where you could actually, like, accidentally slip onto it.
This guy is a dick.
Yeah, no.
Biggest motherfucker ever.
Now, this area, I'm not saying this is the hard area, but this is the area that you fall back down to very commonly. He just passed like a red grill, and that grill is like, it's your constant symbol of failure, because every time you fall back down there, it's just that same fucking red grill, and it's, this is that general area. But oh man, apparently if you beat this game 50 times, you get a golden cauldron. I was able to beat it 3 times so far. My first run was 11 hours. My second run was 45 minutes. My third run was 20 minutes. My fourth run.
Impressive.
Well, my fourth run's not
there.
that good, really. But those all 3 of those were in one night, because I beat the game once and was just like, oh, I want the gold cauldron, and I beat the game 2 more times. But I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to that point. But I assume if I get to that point, I might post a speed run of my own onto the channel. So look forward to that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, dude. Watch you get your 50th run.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Achieve that golden cauldron.
Wow.
This shit looks unbelievably frustrating.
Yeah. No, this part right here, actually, this is the first spot where you can very easily fall down. Now, when you were watching the speed run, he jumped up here and came from the bottom and was able to build up enough momentum so he could get up here without having to go the long way. And I have no idea how to do that. I have almost done it on accident a couple times, but every time I do it on purpose, I don't know what he's thinking right here. That's risky.
Oh yeah, that seems like a bold move. I mean,
he's just gonna yank the mouse down and to the left, I assume.
He's got a plan. He's gonna try and.
He's got a game plan, but that's rough, man.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
The hammer's probably gonna hook on the seat. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
wow. Not what I was expecting.
Oh man, he got the clearance.
Slick.
Okay.
Look at that.
Honestly interesting seeing how differently some people play this game because that is not what I would have done.
Now you got a new strat.
You know? Well, I mean,
For that little
I like mine more.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, if this works better for him, then great. But, oh man, he's got to move that hammer quickly.
Oh, you're going to slip, dude.
Oh, I think he's good.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to not accidentally hit the hammer on anything. But, oh, man. Okay, so he's...
Getting caught up in this shit right now.
For real. If we go... If this guy makes it all the way up and around, he gets to a point where there's a desk, and there's an orange on a desk, and there's a cliff. And you got to get on the desk or hop up from the desk and get onto this rock above it. And that whole like sequence, that is definitely the most difficult part of the game. And if you can get past that part once, you can beat the game. Guaranteed. That's how difficult that part is. And it is just horrible. You will fall from that shit like 30 times.
Fuck that.
If not more. And it's difficult enough to get up to, but you know, it's mostly because you're still learning the controls. I mean, yeah, there's no game like Death Stranding, but obviously no game plays like this. And when it's this difficult, you have to master a system that you've never had to deal with before. This is no first-person shooter or platformer. I mean, I guess technically you can consider
this is I would say, the ultimate platform.
Yeah,
but it's not like A to jump.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, you gotta leverage your fucking...
This dude is the strongest human being ever.
Yeah, dude, those arms, man. That cauldron is filled with water. Okay, so this I do actually do. Like, it looked like he was going to pogo stick off the chair at first, but yeah, no, if he does that, what I was talking about earlier, where he just basically that, but he needs to be more downward with it. It can actually get him hooked up there. But man, that was a game. Yeah. That was a video game.
Yeah.
And I it's an
experience.
Yeah. Shit. So I'm happy with it. I'm really glad it was only $8 because had I paid more, I feel like that could have added to the frustration level.
Yeah. Like I paid.
The soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I might have. I might have done some serious damage to myself mentally. But that's okay because I beat it and I am the winner. Yeah.
Nice. Golden Cauldron, bro.
Yeah, now it's time for the Golden Cauldron. Oh, I'm sorry, he just tried making a power move. So yeah, was there much else that had been happening there? Much else we had been playing? Oh, if you guys got anything, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I've announced this. I don't know if last time we talked, I had done this, but finished the new Destiny raid.
Hey, all right, there you go.
Took long enough.
Nice.
Man, I've done it like 6 times, like going through the raid, but I've only beaten the boss once. Like, there's 4 phases to it. I've gotten through the first 3 phases a bunch of times, but the boss is pretty tough. It takes a lot of coordination.
Okay.
But the raid is so much fun. Like, mechanically speaking, it's just it's well designed. You know, you have to really coordinate your execution, and like you got like 2 teams of 3 for the first part. You got to unlock these like 3 doors by tethering this light.
I remember seeing the footage of that.
Yeah. So that's the first encounter. And the second encounter is like this big, like, basically this like baseball diamond. You can kind of think of it, and you have to do this relay and like defend each point for a period of time and like link up and get a buff. Anyway, the boss, when you get down to the boss though, the last boss, the boss has these 2 points that you can shoot at. When you shoot at one of them, it opens up a portal, and you have to, there's a few ways you can approach this, but the way I've been doing it with my clan is we go 2 people at a time into each portal. And you go and you like take out a bunch of guys and you gather these things they drop, these motes. You get these motes and then you come back. We pull you back by shooting him again. And then you deposit those motes into a tower. God, it's so complicated. I don't even
sounds
know.
insane.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot, but also like really fulfilling when you actually as a team, as a unit, when you get all of that and like hammer it down. Oh.
Dude, and that's not even the half of it. Like you've got that's like a third of the team is doing the moat runs. Well, you got two teams. You got technically three. The way we've been doing it. You got two people like holding down the fort, because as you're doing the moat runs, the boss will like take out chunks of like the floor that you're working on.
Yeah.
So the two people that are hanging out in the main area we try to work to repair those platforms.
All right.
So you've got ground. Otherwise, when they destroy it, it's just like this like electric water. Yeah. You don't want to fuck around with.
Yeah.
But you've got the rotating teams getting those moats to bank. When you bank the moats, you got to defend the towers. And when you deposit the moats, you get a buff that allows you to take down the shields of these enemies. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure your coordinator and somebody has that buff so they can take out the shields and everybody can defend the points. If you don't defend the points, the enemies will come and they'll like sacrifice themselves to it and like take down your moats. Now to do damage to the boss, you have to stack up the moats in two towers. So there's 2 points. You got like one that opens up one portal, one that opens up another portal. Okay. So you got to cycle through both. Okay. And fill up both towers, and then you can do damage to the boss. Now, that leading up to that, before you can do damage, the boss will drop like a point where you can tether to. Okay. And you have to tether between one of the two towers and form a line to tether to that thing. And you got to coordinate, and that's where it gets really tough because people are like jumping around and getting crazy, and like the lines like tethering between people, and it's so insane getting everything coordinated. But once you get it going, it's like,
seems like
so much fun.
Bungie's been kind of hard at work making sure that Destiny 2 stays alive in a good way.
Yeah. And this raid, they wanted to make it so it wasn't just like you stand still and just do damage. Like they wanted to make it more like dynamic with like how you move things around. And it worked, and it's a good raid. I was trying to do it this morning, but we didn't get the guys together. A couple people had to bail out, but it's fun. So since they bailed out, I just played a bunch of Skyrim. And I started a new playthrough. I don't know if last time we were hanging out, if I was telling you guys I was having some like performance issues and like getting the game started. I was having issues.
Okay.
I went through my mod list and did the old like disable half of my mods, try and launch it, see if it works. Yeah. And then eliminate from there. Yeah. And I found the mod that was having issues was like the achievements enabler mod that allows me to get the Steam achievements while having mods enabled. Yeah. And I don't know how, because like that mod hasn't changed, I haven't. Anyway, I ended up like disabling that mod, and I could start the game. I got back into the game, made a new save, closed the game, re-enabled the mod, got back in, and I was good to go. But in any case, I still decided to like make a new save. But I've been doing a Thor playthrough. Because I got this mod that was like you got the Thor armor and like Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. There you go. Well, I haven't built Stormbreaker yet. That's dope. I got Mjolnir and I just built the armor. Like I had to like I wanted to like play through it and actually gather the materials to build the armor and make it like a new playthrough, like get it going. Yeah. So I'm trying to like role play it in my head like somehow Thor got put in Skyrim, like with his Bifrost or something, like landed him.
Bifrost.
Yeah. So Mjolnir's dope though. I've got this like power where I get like a knockback effect and like this like lightning effects while I'm doing power attacks and shit.
Can you throw it?
No, that's the one thing I'm like I wish I wish I could do it.
That
would
be really cool. Yeah. That'd be like gameplay altering.
It'd be a complicated mod, just to get like the animation or something. I don't know. Yeah. But it's been fun so far, and just kind of starting fresh. I like trimmed some things out, like cut out some other mods and redid my Dindulad and stuff, and I don't know. It's just been fun, So a fresh start, more Skyrim.
There you go. Into it. More Skyrim.
Yeah, you always be back into it, bro.
Yeah.
Especially because they're fuck up broken stuff.
Party
broke stuff.
Hopefully nothing's broken of yours that fell, because it's a nice piece of equipment. That battery is pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, your tiles busted.
Yeah.
Those are very, very heavy.
Game on.
Game
but
on!
Yeah, right. So
Oh, shit.
I did play through Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
It was fun. It was visually actually really good. You know, as far as even comparing it to the first one, which was graphically impressive back in its day. You know, the animation is great. The lighting is great.
Yeah.
You know, music was really good. Voice acting was really good, actually, for, you know, it being a Mario game. It was pretty basic, minimal, but, you know, it's
Yeah.
all in character. It all feels like Mario, this or
Nice.
that or whatever. I really like the first one. I didn't like the 3DS one, Dark Moon. I don't know why they did a remake of the first one, actually a demake of the first one, and put it on the 3DS, which was graphically, you know, a step down, I think. But
Put the sound on?
Oh, yeah.
this one is just a lot of fun. A little. I wouldn't say repetitive, but I would say there's not as much variety in Ghosts, or, you know, that's how it feels anyway. There's probably actually a better variety than in the old games, to be honest. But there's a lot of content here, a lot of unlockables, and you know, collectibles. It's I would say more collectibles than unlockables.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's Luigi's Mansion. It's the best one. It's kind of a sleeper hit of this year. You know, just kind of out of nowhere, a lot of people online were enjoying it, and I played it. It was a 15-hour playthrough, I would say. I did not touch the multiplayer, so, you know, maybe I'll talk about it, but I don't see myself actually getting around to it. It was fun. I did co-op for the single player for a little while. Gooigi.
Uh-huh.
You see, I am a goo man. That's never gonna get old.
Never.
You
Never.
see, I am a goo man.
Fucking Gooigi. I laughed so hard the first time I heard that. It's ectoplasm.
The exploration's really good, and the game's a lot of fun, and gosh, I kind of want to go back and see how many collectibles I can find. There's just money everywhere. They just throw money at you in this game, and I don't know why, but I love it.
Vacuuming that stuff up, that looks
know,
really satisfying.
The physics.
My OCD loves that.
That's
like,
the other
oh,
thing.
let me,
It's
let me
like
sweep
the
up
dollar
that floor.
bills and the, you know, golden bars and the coins and everything,
Uh-huh.
and all the stuff you can interact with. It's like, oh man, it's, if you think you can like vacuum it up, then you definitely can vacuum it up. Usually,
The visuals look great, man.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was probably Nintendo's best game visually this year. Looks better than Fire Emblem. Looks better than Pokemon, which is kind of surprising, but not really.
Oh, yeah. Just little phrases.
Right. And that's it. That's all I have to say about
Yeah.
it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it.
Solid outing.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good game. Give it a solid 8.5.
Feel that, bro. Feel that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rock with fucking.
One more honorable mention. Boneworks got a release date.
You know?
Oh.
When's that?
Boneworks, I want to say it's December 20th. I gotta double
December
check it, but it's coming up quick.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go.
Boneworks, it's made by Stress Level Zero. I think we've shown a little bit of footage before, but they got a new release trailer, and it's just looking fun, man.
Am I hearing something else right now? I'm gonna cut you off.
Oh, you're good. Here.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean,
Did I turn
Oh, it's
off
Luigi's
Luigi?
Mansion.
I don't think I did. My man.
there we are.
I got you.
What am I hearing right now?
Skip that. Full screen. Yeah.
There we go.
So,
Boneworks, we got it.
Yeah.
VR game December 20th.
Yeah, I think that's the date. Sorry, it's
yeah.
probably on this trailer. We'll double check it. But the game is like a physics-based puzzle shooter.
Got it. Ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Audio doesn't look like it's going through on OBS.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I wonder if it got quick keyed on the mute over there.
Oh yeah, it got muted. There we go.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah,
Got a lift.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, you can see very physically based.
Yeah.
It's got doors in VR is so satisfying.
Yeah, especially when it's done right. It's funny you say that because did we talk about the Valve talk recently? Or not the Valve talk, but like a guy from Valve gave a talk at a university about game design, and they talked extensively about door design in VR with as it relates to their new VR game that's coming out at some point. There's a lot of rumors about that release being announced sometime soon. I don't know really any facts about it, but the speculation is HLVR sometime being announced by the end of this year.
Oh man,
the world's gonna freak the fuck out. Oh
yeah,
the internet would explode.
VR will blow up overnight.
Right? No, seriously, like that's gonna push headsets.
Yeah.
That Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, this game though, I feel like it's got a lot of that Half-Life or that Valve spirit, physics-based stuff, just look at this.
That's
dropping cinder blocks on your head.
That's awesome.
Oh, good lord.
But yeah, they show a lot of cool interactions in this, Here he's getting a gun. Oh, one of the things I wanted to say about the Skyrim mod, that Mjolnir mod, it's got the sound, like, when it swings the hammer, it's got that, like, metal, like, whong,
yeah.
There you go.
It's so satisfying.
It's gonna feel like you're just a god.
Yeah. And I've got, like, the armor and stuff, so just, like, looking down, just, like, swinging the hammer, and just
wait till you play Asgard's Wrath, man, the combat.
Oh, yeah, I want to get that. That, and Stormlands, which just came out.
Yeah, Stormlands looking good.
Yeah.
Stormlands, I want to play that real bad. Real fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard good stuff about it from some of the reviews I've seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot about it, but...
Yeah.
I'd move our whole thing. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I feel like I did a little bit.
Whoops.
I moved it down a little bit in real time.
Yeah. Snap us back in.
Boom.
There we go.
And we're back.
You know what I'm saying?
To sea level.
Sea level, yeah. But now we're back at sea level. I mean, we got anything else we want to touch on?
I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, we've talked about it a lot tonight. I mean, goddamn, it's been so busy. It's only going to get busier.
Yeah.
We'll tie some loose ends up maybe next time, but man,
holiday season coming up, Black Friday coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna start talking about Game of the Year stuff too.
Exactly.
We're at that
it's
point.
It's already that time.
I know, man.
Lord. Good Lord.
Yep.
That's gonna be a hell of a whittling down of that list.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I already spoiled my top 3, but the remaining 7, I'll work on those.
Yeah. You still gotta choose one too.
That's true. I still have to finish Death Stranding. So
final verdict. Let's save that for we got a couple weeks before I feel like we should have that discussion.
Yeah.
But
just start the buzz on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But man, what a crazy few weeks it's been. I'm still like I've got tomorrow off and I'm like I've got so much to do.
Yeah.
It's all video games.
It's just got a checklist. I gotta do a couple hours here.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I played like a little bit of Destiny, and I played like a little bit of Grand Theft Auto, and then like I got my Skyrim going again, and then like today, played a little Destiny. Played a lot of Skyrim. Yeah.
Scram.
Yeah. Scram for life.
Jedi, Red Dead, and some NFL action.
Yeah.
Some good food.
Hell yeah.
That's my day.
I make deliveries. That's all. As a quote from Sam in one of the trailers.
Nice.
I'm such a nerd for that. Like I'm not even that big a Kojima fan necessarily.
Monster Energy tat.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's ridiculous. They actually you get 5 cans of Monster Energy in any private restroom that you have, like, you know, safe room in the game, and each one increases your stamina by 10%, but you can only increase it up to 25%. You know, every time you rest.
Okay.
So
don't overdo the monsters. What Kojima's saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, Kojima is saying only 2.5 monsters a day. Well, 3 a day for a full effect.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I used to actually drink 2 a day for a while there. I'm glad I kicked that habit.
He loves having his main characters have a vice, like an addiction.
Exactly.
Now it's energy drinks instead of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, God, that was a killer combo for me back in the day.
Bringing you back, favorite. Bro. You're like Sam Snake.
Oh, jeez.
Word. Well, on that note, I mean, unless you don't want to say anything else, I think it's time to.
Let's wrap it up. I feel like our viewers are as tired as we are now.
Yeah, we got like 2:30.
I mean, hey, time's relative.
All I know is the club's closed right now. You know
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Nope. Last call was a while ago too.
All right,
got it.
Game Winners Network signing off.
Hip hop for life.
Hip hop for life.